Coach Jack Daniels at the Boxers Trainers Channel. What's going on this morning, y'all? Yeah, it's boxing. Yeah, it's boxing, right? And like every day in this godforsaken world with Jack Daniels of the Boxers Trainers Channel is boxing. You know what I mean? So look, man, some came up yesterday in regards to Vergil Ortiz, right? Now, it is being alleged that Vergil Ortiz alleges that he wants all the smoke with Bud Crawford at 160 pounds, 160 pound middleweight, right? Now, the question that I'm posing today for the world to answer, is that a good fight? I mean, would that be a fight that Bud Crawford would be willing to take? I mean, it's about, for Torrance Bud Crawford, it's about legacy. You know, and he kind of demonstrated that when he went out of his way to whoop Saul Canelo Alvarez. It's about legacy. You know what I mean? And he again demonstrated that because the purse of Torrance Bud Crawford wasn't as mammoth as Saul Canelo Alvarez. Right now, I don't know if the notion that he only got $10,000 is accurate. Right, I don't think that Torrance Bud Crawford would go up against, even though it is legacy, a superstar like Saul Canelo Alvarez for $10 million. I mean, it's possible, but there's been nothing to suggest, there's no indicators that Torrance Bud Crawford didn't make a feasible amount of money for that fight. Now, here's the deal. If anything, that it was about or that it is about legacy, right? I would have to factor that into whether Torrance Bud Crawford would want to fight Vergil Ortiz. Now, let's be perfectly clear before we get off into the drama associated with the whys. Is what would it do for his resume? Torrance Bud Crawford. What would it do for his resume? He's 42 and 0. 5 by knockout? 35? 35, I believe it's 35, right? What would that fight do for his legacy? Shout out to Ezo in the house. In my opinion, I think in order for Torrance Bud Crawford to make his legacy uncompatible to another, it wouldn't be a bad idea to beat Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s record, right? 50 and 0, right? Torrance Bud Crawford is 42 and 0. 8 to catch up, 9 to surpass Floyd Mayweather Jr. Now, I ain't in the business of being the best commentator that I can possibly be. So I say that to say this. In my opinion, Torrance Bud Crawford should invest in surpassing Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s record. We're talking about legacy. So, with that said, I think that it would be a good idea in this case to whoop on Vergil Ortiz, because that's exactly what he would do. He would beat Vergil Ortiz easy. You know what I mean? So, and let me say this for the record, right? If you follow me, I believe that my record is about, I want to say 10 and 0 when it comes to picking the best boxer, right? I think my record is 10 and 0. I have beaten some of the best when it comes to making predictions in the game. I'm talking about Tim Bradley included, right? I had a run with Tim Bradley over Devin the Dream Haney, right? Tim Bradley would always say something about Devin Haney and he's going to lose this and that, right? And it was totally bullcrap. But here's the deal. We're not going to get off into that. We're going to focus. We're going to keep our focus on Thomas Bud Crawford, the greatest, and Vergil Ortiz, right? Now, if Vergil Ortiz really wants that smoke, and Thomas Bud Crawford believes, because this is what it's about. It's about whether it's a good idea to invest in a fight with Vergil Ortiz. Shout out to the chat. That would be Thomas Bud Crawford's thinking, right? Is this a good fight for my legacy? Is this a good fight for boxing, right? And he weighs it out that way, I think. But I'm saying that I believe, shout out to Bobby Knuckles Down, whoever that is. I believe that Thomas Bud Crawford should focus on surpassing Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? Floyd Mayweather Jr. has a record of 50-0, and I'm not sure for certain, but I kind of think that is one of the best records in the game when it comes to retirement at that number, 50, right? 50-0. 50-0. So I don't know. I'm not sure, but I believe that I'm gonna have to research that because that is a good subject, right? How many undefeated champions? How many undefeated champions retired with an O on their record? I'm gonna check that out. Get back with you on that. But y'all need to say whether y'all believe that this is a good fight between Vergil Ortiz and Thomas Bud Crawford. Actually, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because the decision is left up to Thomas Bud Crawford and Thomas Bud Crawford's team, right? And this is what Thomas Bud Crawford keeps saying about retirement, who you're going to fight next, or, you know what I mean? That's solely left up to the demise or to the behest of Floyd Mayweather Jr. Shout out to Bob James in the house. So, anybody got anything they want to add to this chat? The phone number is 870-571-3995. You know what I mean? And that would be a nice thing for y'all to jump in if you want to, because this is an open chat. This is a live chat, right? You know what I mean? And we're getting pretty active around here with this chat. And I'm in appreciation to those in the chat that constantly come back to the chat and listen to the old man pop it about this boxing, because one thing for sure and two things for certain, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to boxing. I know boxing. You know what I mean? I know training. If I don't know nothing else in the world, these are the things that I know I can go to the bank with. You know what I mean? Contrary to the fact that my name isn't out there like the rest of them, but it will be, because you in the chat have got me inspired and motivated. Let the record reflect that this chat. Yeah. Oh, wow. Thanks a lot. Bob James. We lost to Ricky Hatton, right? You know what I mean? I think it was last week, right? And there wasn't any apropos shots being fired for Ricky Hatton. Overhead, shots being fired overhead for Ricky Hatton, right? And let's do the honorable thing and have a moment of silence for Ricky Hatton, man. Those are the things we do in the name of boxing at the Boxing Strangers channel. We try to do the things that are in the best interest of boxing. This is what I don't know about any other podcast when it comes to boxing, but this podcast is about building the best interests of the boxing, because right now, in my opinion, we're in a bad state, right? And I Hope. Majority of British champions say Roy Jones Jr. is the best they've seen, not Floyd. That's a good call. That's a good call. Bob James. That's a good call. I mean that is up. That is up in the air, right? But here's the deal, Bob James. Roy Jones Jr. didn't go undefeated as far as records are concerned. The best. Who's the best, right? You have to say that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is actually the best when it comes to having the 50 and 0. He went out undefeated. You couldn't nobody stop him. Roy Jones, if I'm not mistaken, had like 8 losses under his belt, maybe more. I'm not certain. But that is still a good analogy, Bob Jones. And shout out to the majority of the British people and champions, right? So look, man, I have to get up out of here and go to work. But I love you in the chat. And man, listen. If your fingers are not hurting, if they're not broke, hit the subscription button. Would you? Would you help the old man to build the best boxing podcast in the game? Bob James, you active this morning, brother. No, I don't. No, Bob James. I don't think that Mike Tyson was better than Muhammad Ali. I think that Mike Tyson even replicates that thought process, right? He replicates the fact that Muhammad Ali was the best ever. That's good, but that's a good thought, Bob James. Good thought all the way around the globe. Good thought, brother. You know what I'm saying? But hit that subscription button, hit the like button, y'all. Hitting that like button. Drop a comment in the comment section and let me know if y'all think Vergil Ortiz should be fighting Bud Crawford. Y'all just, I mean, what you trying to hold me to the chat? Because you, man, look, I'm trying to get up out of here. Timmy Concepcion. Tyson, that's right. Hey, shout out to, let me see if I can pin that. Since y'all hold my feet to the fire. Y'all look at that. Timothy Concepcion says, it's in the chat. It's in the chat. It's in the chat, y'all. It is true. He does. He idolizes, Mike Tyson idolizes Muhammad Ali. Wouldn't, in fact, as a matter of fact, now that you bring that to mention, Mike Tyson is in an uproar with Floyd Mayweather Jr. because Floyd Mayweather Jr. said he was better than Muhammad Ali. And Mike Tyson takes that serious. He's mad as hell at Floyd Mayweather Jr. And I'm mad at Floyd Mayweather Jr. as well. Yeah, he did. He fought Holmes and Ali. He fought Holmes and Ali. Who fought Holmes and Ali? Timothy Concepcion? We're going to leave that for another day, people. Look, man, I got to go. But let the record reflect it. I really appreciate y'all. And we're going to keep pushing this train. Later.